Hey there, welcome back to Sea Power. Today, Operation Red Tide. The mission creator has done a wonderful job with this briefing. Operation name Mercury, date January 26th, 1985. Intel suggests that a NATO carrier group 8, led by a Nimitz-class aircraft carriers in the region. Additionally, Andoya Air Base is located northwest of Narvik. Expect heavy enemy air presence. Great. Given the limited air power available to Task Force Mercury, we recommend keeping all aircraft within a 50 nautical mile radius of the Kirov under its formidable S-300 missile shield. Protect the landing ships assigned to Task Force Mercury at all costs. They have no air defense of their own, and we need to have at least one ship of naval infantry to secure the port. Now, this mission has a couple of different phases. We have phase 1, the initial approach. We will deploy just off the shore of the Offord Fjord in northern Norway. That's where we're going to deploy. We are accompanied by by several Udaloys. That's nice. And Oscar-class subs. The task force will head to Narvik, leveraging the cover of darkness and adverse weather conditions to remain undetected. Phase 2. In the early hours of 0730, Soviet submarines will unleash a barrage of cruise missiles aimed at neutralizing the Norwegian coastal defenses and radar installations around Narvik. Simultaneously, we'll have bombers launch precision strikes on key enemy assets. Phase 3, the naval engagement. The Kirov-class battlecruiser, equipped with surface-to-air missiles, will engage any NATO air support attempting to counter the attack. The Udaloys will provide additional firepower and air defense, ensuring a coordinated strike against any Norwegian or Allied naval presence in the vicinity. Phase 4 is the actual landing in the landing area. Woo, we got a lot to do. Let's get to it. Okay, this is a big mission. I have lots of assets. Let's see what we have before we get involved. This is where we're going to have a bit of chatter before the actual mission starts, shall we say. Sometimes I tend to take some time in order to just line up my forces, figure out what's what. I do consider this to be an important part of Sea Power. Just figuring out what sort of, let's say, puzzle pieces you have. In this case, I have two Udaloys, Admiral Levchenko and the Admiral Karlamov, and there's Kirov herself. Or maybe, with a ship this big, I'm going to call it himself. We'll have behind it a couple of landing ships. These gentlemen have to make it to the shore. They have to make it to this area. I also have a couple of air groups. These are the ones with the AS-13 King bolts, so that's anti-ship missiles. I don't really like their range, 21.6. It's low. Also, they only carry 2 of them, which most of the time is going to get fairly easily defeated by NATO. And the Albatross group here, these guys are carrying a couple of AS-4 Kitchens. So we're going to throw Kitchens at the enemy at a range of at least 60 miles. That's important, at least 60 miles and 5,000 feet of altitude. So I need to make sure that I get these birds over to 5,000 or higher. Let's go to 10. As for what I have here, the Udaloys, the Oscars. I have the Arkhangelsk, the K525, the K206. Armed with, that's a lot of firepower, 24 shipwrecks apiece. These are the Oscar 1s. I'm not sure if they've been buffed or not, because I'm running both the new threat upgrade mod and the packet lethality improvement. So both of these mods are going to make my side stronger and NATO's side stronger, most likely. I'm not sure if this mission was designed with that in mind. Anyway, I carry 24 shipwrecks apiece. So that's 48 shipwrecks. And keep in mind that these guys form a hive mind, or at least that's my designation for it. They form a sort of neural collective, and they decide what ship should be targeted by how many missiles. I don't really have to send the missiles after specific targets. They will do that for me. I also get a couple of Stallions. In case I find a submarine, I can launch a torpedo at it, essentially 55 miles out. And I have a couple of other torpedo options, including carrier killers with a range of 54 miles. I was looking at this. 54 miles. The thing is, you better be real sure that the target's going to maintain their course. If they don't, and especially if they start to head away, this 30 knot maximum velocity is useless. Because an aircraft carrier can go faster than that most of the time. So let's say that you're going to go for 54 miles maximum range at 30 knots. That means these weapons are in the water for almost 90 minutes. Rather, almost 2 hours, in fact. Almost 2 hours. And of course, a lot can happen in 2 hours. So I'm not particularly interested in using this weapon. What I would like to do is get some air assets. Get some air reconnaissance. So we're going to send up 1K 27PL. And we're going to have to find out what this thing is. Given that it is so close to the submarines, I think we will get it fairly soon. But we are below the layer. And I do want to stick below the layer. Let's push this group only out to 1/3. I don't want to rush this. So we have to find and eliminate a bunch of enemy. Oh, hello. Meagers. Suspicious. Yeah, that could very well be a setup. What the hell? That could very well be Pegasus attack boats. It could be SARs from the Israeli Navy. It could be Hawks from the Norwegians. But given that they're all heading in the same direction at the same speed, leads me to believe that these are not friendly. I wonder. I could engage these with the Su-24s. I mean, why not? What have we got there? Very large. Rate of return. 30 knots. You're hostile. This guy, I think, could be neutral. I say that. Yeah, it could be a merchant. We have him on the search radars from Karlamov and the Tu-22. So the Karlamov has their radar active. Okay. Not sure if I'm terribly happy about that. What you got there? Another large, doing 9 knots. This is most likely not as big of a threat. I wonder if I could just blap this whole group with the 2 submarines. Because I have the range for that, I imagine. 70 miles, that's a hop, skip, and a jump for these ship missiles, these shipwrecks. So, yeah, I can launch 48 shipwrecks against these. Oh, we got an aircraft already. Looks like they might have just taken off from 7008, because they're climbing. But no, you don't climb to 5,000 feet from there in 2 miles. I don't think that. Got a very large coming in from the northeast. Feeling a little surrounded here. Go. 58 miles out. Investigate. Because the last thing I need is getting attacked from behind by a couple of Pegasus. And if this is a group of 4 Pegasi, they can engage me with 32 harpoons. Which will be uncomfortable, to say the least. And that's going to be downright deadly. As for ASW, I haven't heard anything from ASW, but it doesn't mean that there aren't submarines. So I could use the other helicopter to start laying a couple of sonobuoys. Let's use yours, Levchenko. Tracks 7012 faded. That's all of these boys. Mark it up. I want to get an ID on these. Is there a minimum range for the King Bolt? 2.5 miles. Okay, fine. Activate your surface search. There we are. For all I know, it's a formation of 4 fishing boats. It's possible. We're going to have to investigate before I start sending King Bolts after it. As for these, 6 of these missiles are barely going to make a difference for this task force. They're just not going to make a dent. They will very easily get shot down. I can try and throw them in. They are moving at 2650 knots maximum speed. I'm not very sure what to do with these things just yet. Another very large. Who is detecting all this? Oh, it's your search radar from these boys. Yes, okay, fine. Alright, I think I'm just going to launch an Alpha Strike in doctrine line. Because the Soviets tend to launch missiles, lots of them, and early on. Because that is their advantage. That's what they're good at. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to Alpha Strike this whole group. I'm going to send I'm thinking about 36 shipwrecks after them. So we're going to push this formation. And it's very unusual to have a formation. What's the minimum launch range? Launch depth? No, it's launch altitude. Not sure what the launch depth is going to be for these boys. Oh, hold on. Arkhangelsk, you also have to go to, what, shallow? I thought I was ordering the formation to do something, but apparently this does not work on depth. It just seems to work on course changes. Okay, you're up there. Let's go. No. Throw me a white sonar net. Once again, hold, Control, Alt, right click. You're gonna get a white sonar buoy net. This is gonna be a range of like, what, 5 miles from my submarine? 3 miles, that's way too close. Now, throwing a wide net like this basically means that I'm having a chance to catch something here, but it's not spectacular. Looking for a good position to throw it down there. Also, try to eliminate that one waypoint there, because otherwise they're going to go there and then fly there, which is a waste of fuel. So now they're going to go here and start dropping. Alright, I want you to identify yourself. Yeah, see? It's a couple of merchants. It's Dows. I'm not sure why they're all the way out here, but it's a nice little diversion. Hold up. I need you to identify yourself right now. Refuses to comply. 3,000 feet up. I don't trust this. Make your way over to the defensive umbrella here. They're 60 miles out from the landing ships. They are probably 70 miles out from the Kirov. 64. There's another coming in. 3,000 feet. Speed is too fast to be a P3. 7016 hostile air. Great. Of course, this is doing 255. 255 knots is a bit more in line with something along the lines of a P3 Orion. So that might be what we're looking at here, but these, I don't know. ID? Does not respond. 7014 refuses. Cannot communicate. Can you communicate? Cannot. Turn on your radar. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is start throwing out missiles. This will most likely... Jeez, how fast are you guys going? You just overran my submarines. Oh, that's amusing, actually. Hold on, I can exploit this. What these guys are doing, these submarines, they're going to launch their shipwrecks. If I'm doing that from the position of my surface ships, they might think it's coming from the Kirov. I mean, this is more lore than anything else. We got missiles inbound. We're getting a radar warning receiver. Anyway, I might be able to spoof them into thinking that this is coming off of the other units. Okay. Here we go. Alright, we're gonna throw 8, 8, 8. I have it paused for now, because otherwise we're gonna have sort of dispersed missile salvos. I'm gonna have 8, and another 8. I'm gonna keep 8 in reserve. And of course, I still have all the missile power that the Kirov brings to bear. Which is another 20 shipwrecks. Good lord. I don't think I've ever used one of these bad boys. They're coming up to 75 feet. And then it's shipwreck o'clock. I don't like how close this thing is getting to my formation. 38 miles. It could be hostile. We got more aircraft now. Oh, we're sending. Jeez, look at the size of those missiles. One tube after the other opens, launches, closes. I don't think I've ever quite launched a missile salvo this big. Not of shipwrecks. Hostile missile. What? 7027. Rim 67? Oh, crap. Okay. I think they're going to try and eliminate my helicopter here. Jesus Christ, look at that. Good luck with that, gentlemen. I hope I didn't underspend. I hope I didn't give too few missiles. So if they got this missile range... Whatever, fuck it, we're gonna send the other 8 as well. If this is all dead, that also means that their spawn of aircraft is dead. Well, spawn is potentially not the right word. Simply because an aircraft carrier doesn't, at least to my knowledge, know how to launch aircraft. I haven't really seen them do that. Even these landing ships are going. What the hell? Because the landing ships are just seeing that. Just missiles popping out of nowhere. Which must be quite the sight. Yeah, these Rim 67s. We got another Rim coming in. Are they already intercepting my missiles, or is this just another gift from my helicopter? Look at that line. Good lord. This is going to be quite something. There's a lot of missiles coming in. I think we might get in a couple of missiles in. No. Yes, they intercepted one already. What the hell? Already? Here's the next line. What the hell? This is a big fight. I'm surprised they can see them. Because these are sea skimming. They're at a height of 53 feet. But what is entirely likely is that one of these birds is an AWACS. Yeah, they intercepted another. 7007 is the intercept track. So this guy here. Tu-22 has been hit? By 7007? What? Oh. Right, gotcha. Yeah, he's dead. That's what those rims were going for. Change altitude, go to 300, dive. I need you to get below the radar profile, because these guys were nice and up and high, and I think they had 80-mile surface-to-air missiles. And they definitely used them to great effect. I got too high, and I got punished for it. As well I should have. Splash. 7047 hostile. I'm not terribly sure where this is going. And I also still don't know what that is. After a couple of more recent videos, I'm a little hesitant to just be shooting at unidentified air tracks. But they are behaving fairly suspicious. They're not activating their own radar yet. They've thinned out our line a little. See, now all the missiles have decided where they're going to target. They're not all going to target the same thing, they're going to spread themselves out. As they should. Now, word about balance in this game, because this is something that I find quite amusing. Sometimes I'm getting comments saying, oh, the Soviets are so biased and overpowered because they never had... It's a game, right? The other time I'm seeing, oh, the Americans are so strong, the Soviets never win. It all has to do with how you use the assets you've been given. If you're using, for example, the Soviets with a more American doctrine, that will not work. Because the Americans have far superior aircraft. If you have, for example, a Nimitz, the Soviet carriers, if you can call them that, they don't hold a candle to that. They just don't stack up to them. But what the Soviets do have is a very strong Alpha Strike capability with all these shipwrecks and other long-range missiles. If you play to their strengths, it is entirely likely you will do a lot of damage. And you will see that the American ships will go down. In this case, there's a lot of shipwrecks coming in, and now sure enough, you can see lots of missiles coming up to defend the fleet. I'm not using jamming because I don't have any electronic warfare aircraft. But with all these missiles, especially with the second wave coming in a little later, I think we will see a couple of hits. And once they get hit, it starts to snowball. Also, keep in mind, I only need to get one shipwreck on target. Whereas most of the time, a single harpoon, it's not going to cut it. That's the aircraft carrier. This is, what, the Long Beach? It's not a VLS Long Beach, so they are limited in their defensive capabilities. There's the Sea Whiz. Missile intercepted. They cannot possibly hold every missile off, so this thing is going to get hit by 2 shipwrecks and probably instantly die. Yeah, you're dead. Unfortunately, the rest of the shipwrecks haven't quite been given that notice, so they're all targeting that one ship. That's a bit of a waste. This is overkill. Oh my god, this is not what I wanted. I was hoping these missiles would actually target something else. Please reacquire. Yes. No, hold on. That was an RGM-84? Yes, we're seeing vampires coming in. We got harpoons coming in. We got harpoons coming in, and the Udaloys are on point. Engaging. We have gauntlets for days. We can definitely do some damage. Seriously though, why are we pumping the Long Beach full of missiles when there's an aircraft carrier nearby? Is this thing giving off such a massive radar signature that all my shipwrecks want to get it? Is that really it? Boom. Such a waste. I mean, there's an aircraft carrier up here. I'm not sure why it's black. Something's going on with the textures that's a bit weird. It's already sinking. Quickly. At that. That's a kid, I think? Yeah. Okay, I definitely overspent. I should have spread these missiles out a bit more. Oh, now they're not even gonna... Oh, hold on. He's reacquired. He's going for the carrier. I really don't know why it's blackened like that, but they're done. So that's the carrier and the Long Beach, both eliminated. That's good work. That's good work. Who wants to go next? What are we looking at? We're still got a couple of RIM 67s coming in, but that's not that big of a deal. That one aircraft is a business jet. Jeez, you're flying directly towards a sinking aircraft carrier. Are you insane? If you see stuff like this going on, maybe change course. Because otherwise you risk flying into a war zone. I almost shot you down. Okay, we're gonna go ahead standard. Go below the layer. They're out of shipwrecks, but they're still capable submarines. Albeit a little loud. Surprisingly, both my halos are still alive. Let's throw that sonar net down. Still need to figure out if there's submarines around. I'm going to slow down a bit. Go to head 2/3. You guys are only doing 14 knots. Where are you going so fast? Why are you rushing in? Because you're risking splitting up with the rest of the escorts. Or rather, the escortees. So that's not a good play. We've got a semi-large or 2. kid and something else. Well, you know what? I still got these boys. Might as well throw some missiles at him. I was expecting some sort of American air attack, because that was what hinted the briefing to, but I'm not seeing it, surprisingly. Where is it? Wait, I thought you were supposed to have good range. Oh, hold on, you're not the Kirov. You are. That's the what? The Grumble? Yes. Unfortunately, they're not high enough for that. And the Gecko is only short-range defense. It's an 8-mile missile. These things are supposedly at an altitude of 1,000 feet, although the altitude here says 0. Just discard that. Now I can light them up. And supposedly I can engage them, although I'm not 100% on that. Where are these boys heading? They're not heading anywhere. Oh, this guy is. He's doing 20 knots. And for some reason this guy's stationary, although I didn't hit him. I never hurt you. Yet. Wait for it. Go to 50 feet. Prepare to go low. If I was the American carrier group in this scenario, I probably would have been shot at. Oh, harpoons, lovely. I probably would have been shot at by the Russians. I would have tried to jam as many Russian missiles as I could. And I would have definitely scrambled all aircraft to try and get my aircraft into the skies before the carrier got hit, so that I could then execute a strike. Because now, of course, they're useless. I sunk an aircraft carrier, and with that, most likely a whole bunch of aircraft. F-15, well, F-14s, A-6s, A-7s, S-3s. This is the unfortunate part about the current state of the AI. I would love it if the AI would actually learn how to launch aircraft. From air bases, from carriers, what have you. Because right now, they're a bit too easy. You're still trying to engage, but you can't. Target not detectable with fire control radar. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. They're flying too low. Okay. This is where I'm going to end today's video. The next part is already available for members. I'm splitting these things up because most of the time the average view time is only 15 minutes, if that. So the next part is going to be coming tomorrow, unless you're a member. In which case you can already watch it right now. So hit the join button if you haven't already. You can become a member for just $1 a month and immediately keep watching, and you'll get early access to all other videos that I'm doing. So, want early access to not only tomorrow's video, but also the rest of the videos that I have pre-scheduled? Become a member, and I'll see you on the other side. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon for the more videos.